welcome to my channel. I'm Cathy. You're at Spicey Cat Jams, and today I have a bit of a chit-chatty video. Not sure how long it's gonna go, but it'll probably be just a listen. You're certainly welcome to look at me, but it's going to be part of my chat series. I'm actually doing this with a very good friend of mine. She invited me to talk about this. Possibly, it's a sensitive subject, and I'm hoping it will, it'll be worth listening to. But I am doing this collab with Miss Divine Design, Dina. I will have her channel and her video linked below. I would really encourage you to go listen to her after me, and please comment, because this could be, there's a lot to talk about. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, Being Fat Ruined My Life. Has it? I've recently talked a little bit about my personal thoughts, some changes I'm trying to make in my life, which happen to include my weight. It is not, it's not a secret, it's nothing you can hide, and it's just a word. But yes, I am fat, obese, overweight, super obese. There are many tags associated with it, and I'm a little nervous, so forgive me. I'm a little fidgety, just because this is a topic not everybody likes to talk about. I certainly don't like to talk about it, but I think there are people that can maybe understand and relate. And I'm always, I've said before, you know, my goal at the end of my life is I want to know I've made a difference in somebody else's life. And if it means I have to be uncomfortable with my own life or share some personal things, I'm willing to do it, because I really do think we don't support each other enough. As women especially, I think women have become cattier and more competitive, and there's nothing wrong with being competitive. There's nothing wrong with a good self-image, self-worth. I recommend all of those things, but you can be those things and still encourage and support others. So I'm going to talk about being fat today and how it's affected my life. Now, this is something I could go on probably, you know, a full-on series, or I could probably do a video a week for a full year on how being fat has affected my life. Now, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to try, and I hopefully will have some cohesion here and some points I want to talk about, but it's definitely something that has affected me my entire life. I don't remember not ever being concerned about my weight. I don't remember ever being in a room, in a new situation, where I didn't look around to compare my size to others, where I didn't look to see if there was going to be a chair that I could first fit my butt into. Arms on chairs are not a fat girl's friend. Not to mention that it'd be sturdy enough. My mom and I talked about weight forever, and that's one of the things, you know, I look at pictures of her, and she felt she was overweight her entire life, and I didn't see that. But we all have this perception when we look in the mirror, and for whatever reason, if you want to blame society, you know, media, that makes women focus on their appearance, and not just, you know, their body appearance, but their, you know, their face, their hair, their makeup. We get so wrapped up in these things, and yes, they matter in some aspects, but in so many they don't. And I really wish we would quit giving so much weight, I guess, for lack of a better word, significance to a person's size, because it is just one aspect of them, and it's really, it's the physical trappings, as I call it. But so has being fat ruined my life? Well, I came into this world fat. I should have dug this out. I was over 9 pounds. Can't remember if I was 9'2" or 9'4", but I was a large baby for 1970. Good, healthy baby. And I was born hungry. My mom told me, that she would be in the hospital and, the little, how much are they, 2 ounce, 4 ounce? I don't even know how big the bottles are they give you to give newborns in the hospital. She would give me that bottle and I would suck it down and basically look for more. Her roommate at the time, because then you had roommates in the hospital, said, first of all, she thought I looked so much like my dad. And she commented to my mom that whenever I finished a bottle, she fully expected, like me, this newborn baby, to like first let out a huge belch and then ask for a beer. Because my dad was joking with my mom and the roommate about, sneaking in a beer for these ladies that just gave birth. Anyway, so I was hungry and I would scarf those down, and my mom said, she, brought me home from the hospital, and again, I was hungry. That bottle was not enough. So I was a newborn baby, and she started feeding me like baby food, like the oatmeal, or I don't know what it is. I don't have a child that I've raised, so I'm, going off of this. But she said, I was just hungry. So I was born hungry, and evidently I have been eating ever since, obviously. And so it's something I just remember. And as a kid, you don't really think, that you're fat. Those aren't terms, that people say to you. And I wasn't really that much larger than the other kids in my class. However, it was a small community, a small tune, so a small school, small class, so I was the largest in the class, and of course there were kids that liked to tease me. I had my primary tormentor, but I had my best friend, and we just thought we were normal. I wasn't athletic. I had no desire to be into sports. I liked the group thing, and I would participate in other ways, but I was not athletic. I had a sibling that was very cruel to me about my weight. But again, it's just the way it was. So, as a kid, I didn't really let my weight ruin me. But I remember, having to take phy ed and like praying it would rain and having to try and, run around, a mile or around the football field and just thinking I was going to die. Yes, I was always the last one. When we'd have to run, I was the last person picked for teams, all of that. It affected me as much as a kid does. But at the end of the day, I had my best friend. I had my parents who loved me. So I don't want to say that I let my weight in high school stop me from doing anything. I dealt with it, and, I felt the way that I let people make me feel, because this is the other thing. If you're overweight and you try and explain yourself, there are those out there that are just gonna, oh, she's playing the victim. She's, not being accountable. She's trying to blame it because someone teased her. They didn't force the food in her mouth. I'm not blaming anyone for the size I am other than myself. So if that's what you're thinking, please just go somewhere else. You're not meant to hear this message. I'm not blaming someone. I accept that the choices I made, which were to turn to food for those times that I was teased, for those times I was rejected, for those times I didn't do things because I was self-conscious, I made those choices to let food medicate me, comfort me. It was my choice. That's the way it was. What I'm trying to say is, in my mind, this is the size I felt when I was 10 years old and my sibling called me fat. And, and the kids, called me Beluga. That was my lovely nickname that my tormentor chose to call me all through school. So at that time, and now I look at pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, Cathy, I wish you had been wise enough to get help to understand that the way you were feeling was not right. But it affected my well-being, as far as my mental well-being. A lot of depression issues going on. Um, so in some ways, it did kind of ruin some aspects of my life, maybe. Do I think that being fat has completely ruined my life? Absolutely no. I don't, I won't give it that power. It has not, it has made my life more difficult. There are so many things that would be easier to do, to go shopping, to find clothes. I hate shopping for clothes and trying on clothes. That would be easier. It's not like this is a club people usually want to be in. You don't get a sticker for every time you go to the doctor and gain 10 pounds. You don't get, reserved, prime parking spot for being a fat girl. You don't get to be the popular person, at the party, at the social event, just because you're fat. You could still be the popular person because you are a freaking amazing person and a great personality and people want to be around you. But being fat is not one of the perks. Does that make sense? So my life could be easier. And this, but would I have wanted it different? And yes, I have been on a diet as long as I remember. I remember being probably 8 years old and going to weight loss meetings with my mom. She was very supportive. I'm very blessed. I know not everybody is. My mother and father absolutely loved me. They never made me feel that I was less than because of my weight. They encouraged me in all the ways. I was very academic, very intelligent, involved in those type of activities at school. I've always considered myself a very caring and loving person, and they really helped nurture that and showed me that, it wasn't because of my size. So I was lucky that way. I battled myself enough internally about my weight. So, but it has affected me. I absolutely love to travel. I love to explore new places, see new things. And being fat has affected that. I will not fly on a plane, for sure now at my heaviest, unless I am traveling with someone and I can make sure that I'm the window seat and the person I'm traveling with, my husband, my mother, whoever, somebody that knows me will be next to me as the cushion between the next person, because I have to put the arm up and guess what? My fat's going to carry over and touch the person next to me. So I will not travel on my own. As far as flying, I will take the train or I will drive. And I absolutely love to drive, so I haven't let my weight stop me from traveling. Probably to some places or to do as much, but it's probably my budget that limits me more than my weight, because I will drive. And I still love to meet people, but I am always still very self-conscious when I meet someone for the first time. I've had the honor of making friends with several of you that are watching right now, and I would really love to meet more of you. I've been able to meet a few on a recent road trip, but I was so nervous and self-conscious. I'm like, okay, they can see me. They're watching me. You're seeing me right now. You know what I look like from here up. You can tell that I'm fat, but until you see me in person, maybe you don't go, whoa, she's that fat. So I am very self-conscious when I meet people. So it's a challenge. Being fat has held me back in many ways. It has made me much more aware of trying to make other people not feel self-conscious, because I would not want any of my friends or even a stranger to have the thoughts I've had about myself. So it's made me, more empathetic, and just, I don't care what someone looks like. I don't care what color your skin is, what language you speak, what your body size is. what color your hair is if you don't have any hair. I don't care about any of that. I truly care about the beauty of a person. And your self-worth, the person you are, is so much more than your body shape or your appearance. And I just want people to look at others that way. Now, I have had a lot of moments, usually with kids, where, and kids are honest, kids at a certain age, until we teach them that the way they say things or some words could be negative, they're just honest and open. I can't tell you the number of times I've been in a store, someplace in the public, and a child's like, wow, Mom, her butt's really big. Or, Mom, she's really fat. They're not saying it to be mean. You can tell the difference when someone's being mean. They're stating a fact. There's nothing wrong with that. And usually the adult in the situation immediately like shushes the child and, oh, don't say that, and like tries to get them away from the situation. And I have no idea what they say to them. But the way that they're seeing that adult in their life react, now they're associating that fat's a bad thing. And it doesn't have to be. If I have the opportunity, I will always talk to that child and I will acknowledge them. And I'll just say, well, hi, my name's Cathy, and yep, you're right. I have a really big butt. Yep, you're right. I am fat. Yep. And I'll say, and look, you're whatever. And I'll say, look, you have blonde hair. Or, I'll find something just to say, that's just part of who I am. That's the way God made me, but I usually don't even bring God into it. I just say, yeah, that's true. And, just use it as a learning experience, and then just say something, what do you think of my glasses? Or I'll find something that they can relate to, and I'll say, oh my gosh, I go, did you notice we both have blue eyes? And say, that's some way we're the same. And but then we could be different. I'll say, you know what? And you've got those pretty pink shoes, and I don't have those. So, that makes you different than me. It's just a difference. And everybody's different. I mean, it's not always that I've been willing to talk to someone. I've, spent many times going into a private place and crying and sobbing because, someone has said that to me. And then you kind of internalize, because it's a struggle. I don't want to be like this. I didn't choose this as, yes, I would like to be this heavy and to have this much more of a challenging life. We don't try. We just are trying to do the best we can. And it takes a lot. Sorry. I don't know how this is going to come out in editing. I know right now that it's kind of scattered, so hopefully I can do some magic in the editing booth, which is just my laptop. But so, being fat has definitely affected my life. It will be something I struggle with, I imagine, my entire life, because I know that of the way I mentally think and how I use food. I'm trying to retrain my brain. People will go on different diets, fad diets. They will, talk to their doctor. They may take medications. They may have surgeries. There are lots of tools out there to help a person lose weight. But I think for most of us, and I say this most of us, but honestly, this is my story. Your story might be different. So, these are my thoughts. There's usually more up here that needs to change before anything else can. It's the way we think. It's the way we use food. As I said, I've used it as my medication, I guess, If I'm sad, if I'm happy, if I'm depressed, if I'm tired, I will use food to soothe me. I have my entire life. Instead of dealing with the emotion, I just try and push it down. don't want to talk about that, don't want to think about that. I just medicate to numb myself from feeling. That's something I'm working on changing. It's taking a long time to do that. And just in general, though, how many of you can relate that, you think back to significant times of your life, and you associate your weight with it? How much did you weigh when you graduated high school? College, when you graduated? How much did you weigh? How much did you weigh on your wedding day? Those of you that are mommies, how much did you weigh when you were, pregnant, having your child? And then every weight you've had since then, you compare that I'm heavier than when I was pregnant, 9 months pregnant. Why do we do that to ourselves? And men, do you do that? I can only speak for myself and for other women I've spoken to. It frequently comes up in conversation when we're talking about, body weight and image. Oh, I wish I weighed what I did in high school. Oh my gosh, I thought I was fat when I got married, and oh, I wish I could weigh that again. Why don't we just remember the feeling and the pride, walking across a stage and getting your diploma, walking down the aisle and marrying, your life partner? Why does weight have to have anything to do with that? Why does it have to be part of our memory? Just enjoy the fact that your body created another human and you carried it. It doesn't matter what you weighed and what dress you could fit in right after. Why do we do that? And how can we stop? And, I was thinking about women that inspire me, or just in general. And, and I thought, it's not reported, how much did Amelia Earhart weigh when she got on the plane to go, fly her solo adventure? How much did Mother Teresa weigh when she received the Nobel Peace Prize? How much did Eleanor Roosevelt weigh when she became the First Lady? How much did Madeleine Albright weigh when she became Secretary of State? How about Clara Barton when she founded the Red Cross? We don't know that because it didn't matter. Those women did amazing things, and their weight didn't matter. It didn't affect them. It didn't stop them from doing those things. But I can guarantee you that as humans and as women, they probably thought about their weight and were unhappy with it at some point. How can we stop that? I don't know the answer. I don't know how to stop it. I hope that one day it's just not there. I mean, yes, being overweight can affect a person's health. I have my own health issues that are directly tied to my weight, but not everybody is. I know overweight people that are very active and very healthy too. And you have to remember, there's a lot that goes into being healthy. So I'm not going to start debating that, fat is unhealthy. We're not having that discussion. We're just, saying fat can affect your life. And if weight is something you struggle with, don't let it ruin your life. Don't let it stop you from living, because I guarantee you, the people that are in your life that absolutely love you, the person. They don't care where you buy your clothes. They don't care what, the scale says. And if there are any cares, it's because they love you so much that if it's affecting your health, they want to help you so you can be with them longer. So be part of their life. Go do things. Don't not go to the amusement park because you're like, I'm not going to be able to ride any of the rides. Don't do that to yourself. You can still be part of an experience. And you know what? You might surprise yourself. You might fit in a ride. They might have an accommodation. And you know what? If you don't, then you just get off and wait. It's not the end of the world. No one has ever died of embarrassment. I'm fairly certain. I think I've said that before. And the people you're with, they just want to enjoy the day with you, the time with you. And if you can't ride a ride with them, don't care. They're not going to make a deal out of it unless you make a deal out of it. You know, do you want to travel? Do you want to go, you know, someplace? Do it. Find a way and do it. Being fat does not have to ruin your life. I'm not letting it ruin mine. I refuse to give it the power. I'm fat. I'm not, it's not a dirty word. It's not a bad word. It is a descriptive word that describes what I am. So hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, there's so much I could talk about on how my weight has affected me, you know, dating, personal relationships, in job situations, with doctors and medicine. I mean, there's just so much that could be talked about, and I've already gone way too long. So this is going to hopefully be edited down quite a bit. But you know what? When Dina talked to me about talking about, you know, being fat ruined my life, I was like, I've been thinking a lot, because in some ways it's made it more difficult. Like I said, life would be easier if I were thinner, but I would not have experienced all the things I have. I would not have some of the friendships I have. And I wouldn't love myself the way I do. Because I do. I absolutely love the person I am. And I'm going to try not to cry, because suddenly, all of a sudden, I want to cry. Because I have not loved myself for more of my life than I have. And that is something you can only do for yourself. No one can make you love yourself or convince you to love yourself. You have to figure it out on your own. And I love myself. I love Cathy, the person I am right now, the size I am. My body is not perfect. It has a heck of a lot of hail damage. And I say that, you know, as a joke, but it does. It has quite a bit of hail damage. So, but I still love it, because my body has brought me this far into this world. From the moment, you know, I took my first breath and downed that bottle and looked for more. It's just an aspect of my personality that there is so much in this world I want to take in and devour. And yep, food is one of those. And food is not a bad thing, you know. We need it to survive. And you know, there are better choices than others. And you know, I'm making changes now in my life, but I love myself the way I am right now. And I will continue to work hard to change my weight for me. It's for me. I have a husband who absolutely loves me, and he is one of my biggest supporters. And that's pretty wonderful. You know, don't let something hold you back. Whether it's because you think you weigh too much, you don't weigh it, you know. There are people that struggle to try and put on weight. For them, weight is just as big of an issue as for those that are overweight. You know, there's so many things, you know. People want to be taller, they want to be shorter. You need to just accept what you are at this moment. Make peace with your body, wherever it is. Quit trying to fight it. Just make peace and love it. And then just do what you can do to be the healthiest you can be, so you can continue on in this world. but don't let it hold you back. Fat does not have to ruin your life. It doesn't unless you let it. Trust me. I know. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that you are more than a number on a scale. You are more than what your mind sees when you look in the mirror, because that's your perception. And what I see when I look at you is an amazing, beautiful person that I am so glad that I know and that I've met. And just embrace what you have. Make peace and live, 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 live. And don't ever forget that you do make a difference in this world. You matter. You are making my life better. You are encouraging me in ways you don't even know. But you're helping me to even be able to talk about this kind of sensitive subject. So hopefully this was helpful to some of you. Again, please go check out Dina's video. She is such an amazing woman and a true inspiration for me in so many ways. And I would love for you to watch her, comment for both of us, and just let me know. I mean, is weight something you struggle with? Is there something else in your life you struggle with? And do you think that it's ruined your life? Or have you just learned how to adapt and, you know, be the best you can be? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again, my friends. I am so grateful that you took time to listen to me today, and I hope we can chat again soon. Love you guys. Bye.